Hey friends, welcome to The Social Society. We are the modern-day marketing agency that has quite literally turned the branding world upside down. Over the past several years, we have been traveling the world working with trailblazers and industry innovators. But our secret is our team. We are about to give you the inside scoop into what we do and who we are. So get comfy, grab a drink of choice, and be ready for some mic drop moments.
Welcome back to the Social Society podcast. And we are here. This is our first episode with Kyle and Melissa. So Melissa, tell us about you. Who are you?
I'm Melissa Schroeder. I am a photographer. I'm the lead photographer here at the Social Society. And yeah.
Kyle?
That's you.
That's me.
I am Kyle, the lead video guy and audio daddy, I guess, for the Social Society. Yeah, that's me.
Audio daddy. That's like his new title. We just said right before this show, we need a jacket on the back. It's like, let me be your audio daddy. But we thought it might be a little inappropriate. So today we're going to talk about creating the vision and how we create visual content for clients and like how we do it in such a unique way, and just kind of riffing on some of our favorite times together. And what has been your favorite moment, like one of your top moments of us creating visual content?
San Diego definitely pops into mind, creating for Carissa.
Yes.
And there was just something unique about, we were kind of just in this element and in this zone, like this perfect paradise all week. And we were like vibing on a different level all week already to start. But then once it came to the content day, that like those vibes and that energy just kind of went wild. And we were able to really create some unique and interesting. And I felt like that was the first shoot where we started to get creative. Before then, we were just kind of capturing stuff. But during that shoot, we like really broke through this creative mode. And ever since then, we've been trying to push that creativity and trying to like, let's keep that going. And so that was the start of that.
I agree. I think it was the moment in the shower was one of those, I think, that like perfectly summarizes, I think, how we flow together so well. Like it's literally a dance, I know you talk about that a lot. But there was that shower moment, and this is the way I remember it. It's like, I think you were looking through the glass of the shower or you were videoing through it, and she was like up against the wall, like kind of moving her arms. And then was it me or you?
I was on the other side. I was like from another angle where I could see through the tub. And then Kyle was like, oh my goodness, like come over here.
Oh, then Kyle got in the shower, right?
And then we get in the shower and then we turn it on.
That's when I was like, what if we turned it on? Yes. What if we turned on the shower and then you were shooting through the water and through the steam?
Yeah.
And I just think it's like, to me, that summarizes how well we dance together and we actually add to the creativity rather than being like egos, you know?
Absolutely. Because just being a solo, freelance photographer for years, it's my vision, the creative directing everything. And to have the second and third set of creative eyes is so cool. It's just cool to have that because I didn't see it from that angle. Kyle's like, oh, come over here. And then it's like at that point, everything goes into slow motion. We're shooting, we're creating, but then there's that dance that everything kind of goes into slow motion. Everyone kind of steps away. Kyle and I just kind of dance around each other. And then that's we always have that magical part of the shoot. And I think that was it in San Diego. And then the pool shots.
Oh, the
pool shots were...
Yeah.
You guys were laying on a boogie board, right? Laying on it, shooting her, and you
in
guys
the water.
In the water, half in the water. Watching you two makes me emotional. You guys are just cool. It's so beautiful, and there's just you don't even bump into each other.
No,
It's very rare.
I was thinking that I've worked with tons. She's been doing it for 20 years. I've been doing video for 10 plus. And when I shoot, I'm always bumping in, people get in my way, you get in people's way. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. But I feel like with you and I, it is like a dance. It's I never bump into you. If I do touch you, that's that touch just leads me to something else. I don't know. We don't get in each other's way. And even if we do, it's okay. It's that's making it work. Sometimes you'll say, no, I really like you being in my way right there. Or it's one of those things where sometimes it'll change the angle. And what you were saying, I think I, for so long, was doing it alone as well and thought like, I want to be a video guy. And then when you're a video guy and you're doing all these videos, but it's really hard because you're focused on audio, video, the angles, the lighting, the composition. And then people want me to tell them how to move and what to do. And there's so many things that shooting behind glass is something I love doing. And I'll always go behind the glass. But then the thought to turn on the shower is something that I'm focused on just trying to get behind the glass. So that was like, having a team there really opens up even more doors and to creativity that can't be done with one person. That makes sense. Right.
I think that's like we play off of each other's creativity.
Totally.
And I think like we had our immersion just recently in San Francisco, and the husband of the client was there, Justin, and I just loved how he was like, I've never seen a team of creatives with this level of talent that have like no ego. And I was like, it was really beautiful to be like, that's so true though. Like, and I think that's part of what the beauty of us working together is like, why would there need to be, right? It's like, I fully trust Kyle. I fully trust you. We all trust each other. And it's like, there's been moments where you and I even have been like, not butt heads, but like, like, I don't know if I see that vision or if that's what I really want. But it's like that trust of like, but let's try it.
Yeah.
Like, let's give it a try. And that's when those beautiful moments come through.
There's been too many times, I think, with me and you where it's like, I don't always see it. And because I'm thinking from a technical standpoint and I'm just not seeing what you think my camera is going to see. And I don't think it's going to see that. Like, I'm like, that's not going to capture the way you think it's going to capture. But then we're like, you know what? F it. Let's just try it. Let's do it. Yep. And then it ends up like, even if that one initial idea doesn't work, it will guaranteed to lead to something that will work and will be phenomenal. So it's like, okay, let's just do it. The Money scene in Nashville was definitely one of those that I wasn't on board for a very long time. I thought it was going to look cheesy. I thought it was like, I'm like, no, guys, are you kidding me? Like, this is going to be dumb.
We're going to get up. I was like, just hear me out. We're going to get $10,000 cash out of the bank. Okay. And then we're going to drip it all over her wet body. And you're like, this sounds like a cheesy rap video.
So
and I'm
cheesy.
like, I know, but just
it's going to work.
But we did it in such a unique way, And
it was so fun and such cool content that I've really loved watching her repurpose and use.
Yes, absolutely. So what is it like? I'm curious because I've never actually asked you all this. Like, what is it like having a creative director? Like,
so like I said, being solo photographer with like my vision, clients will send you like an inspiration board or something. I really like it because I think it leads to a non-burnout or a non pressure. Like I go in having a creative director, having support, videographer, knowing that a team is there. I'm so fresh. Like I'm there. I mean, like when you look in Hollywood or like in New York City, when they're doing a photo shoot, everybody has their place. The photographer comes in at the last minute, does the shoot and leaves, which ours is a little different than that. But that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, hey, everybody's like supporting me. And I just walk in and that allows me to be more creative and more comfortable and I don't know, supported. And I love that. Like, I don't always want to be the one that's got the vision or has like the expectation of, oh, this shot or that shot. Like I want, it's like I can lean on you to like pick up the energy of a shot or a scene or, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's like I always make fun of in Golden Corral. We'll just throw them out there. But because they try to specialize in everything. And you can't specialize in everything.
Do not be the Golden Corral.
Don't be the Golden Corral. Like instead, be a steakhouse. And you allow me to be a steakhouse. I get to look at what I specialize at. And I get to focus when I show up. And immersion, I don't have to worry about crazy stuff. I don't have to worry about anything except what I do and what I do the best, or what I'm the best at for me. And when I'm on my own doing that, I worry about everything. and
Right.
you're, like I said, I'm horrible at posing people, but it goes even farther to where they want me to pose them. And I'm like, I'm trying to worry about my camera settings, my angles, my lighting, my composition. You want me to tell you where to put your hand? I don't care what you do with your hand.
Right.
I'm
It's like all the things that you're having to think about and like have the rapport with your client and all that. When I was observing yesterday when we were doing our content, like when we went in the studio, we rented the studio yesterday. Kyle's like on the lights. He's doing his thing. Everybody took their places. The second that we got to the location, and Kyle's doing lighting, Haley's setting everything up. You know, Candace and Hannah are organizing. Chloe liked to hair and makeup. I just feel like everybody literally goes straight to their spots, and everybody is so incredible what they do, and such pros. And then we just kind of get to be creative and get to, you know, we set everything up and then we just flow. Yeah. And I love
spotlight
that
idea wouldn't have happened had I been focused on 100 other things and not been able to have that moment to breathe and just play with something while you were doing, you know, while you were doing your job. Everybody was doing their job. So I started playing with other lights or the heart shape or just different things.
Cool. That was so fun.
That like I wouldn't have had the time, or you wouldn't have had the time to get those extra shots, those extra angles, or even all of those extra stuff that we did at the end where we were just having fun and goofing off was like, extra because we did our job. Like,
And I kind of feel like we got to play, and then I'm over here shooting yesterday, and the next thing you know, Kyle sticks the heart thing right in front of the camera.
He cuts out.
I mean, he's just like right there. I didn't turn around to see like, oh, what's going on? I was like, okay, this is what we're doing now.
I love it.
You know, so it was really cool. I didn't even have to like think about it. And I was like, oh, okay.
So cool. Yeah, Kyle in the middle of the shoot is like, okay, we want this heart spotlight, you know, and he went and cut out a cardboard box with a heart in it and started sticking it in front of the camera. And it's just like, those are the things that like, you have that energetic space to go there because you're not trying to control or oversee everything. And I could even say, I know you all will agree with me on this, like it's taken it another step further by having like Candace and Hannah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, so it used to be, right? Like phase one was we were all trying to create at the same time. Then phase two was like, okay, I'm, you know, translating the vision of this client and you guys are capturing it. Now it's like, it's gone to another like level of well-oiled machine where I do that ahead of time. Then they're using like shots and examples, and we're not copying those examples, but they're easier for Kyle or Melissa to like go, oh, I get it. Like I know exactly the vision now. And so it even is easier on me in those shots because it's like, I'm not having to try to translate the vision in real time.
Right.
You know, and it's that, what do you say? Like fix it and pre.
Yeah. I was about to say, it's one of my favorite since I've been in video. Fix it and pre. What you have all the time in the world in pre-production to do everything you want to do. In post-production, I told y'all that quote that I forgot it exactly, but said when you show up to production, you should just produce. Like that's it. Do your job. So for me, I press record and everything else should have already been done. And it wasn't that way, and not by anyone's fault. But with Candace and Hannah coming onto the team, it made it to where we had shot lists, we had Pinterest boards and inspiration, and we were able to like really see before we ever got to the shoot, this is everything I need. Like I could almost set up all of my folders in my drive ahead of time and say like, I'm getting this, and this, and I'm it.
And I think that's what makes us different too, is that we're capturing very intentional content. You know, like it's different. I know you guys have worked in this creative world for a while, and it's like, it's not just for the sake of beauty, right? Like it's not just photos. Oh, we'll just, you know, get photos where they look good. It's like, it's very intentionally connected to what they're offering. Right. And like what, like even yesterday, it's like, we knew exactly what we needed for these episodes. We knew exactly what we needed for upcoming sales and things that we have going on. And I think that's a lot of value to our clients too, is like,
I think
we're not just shooting so you look good. It's like,
and I think that we have like the boards and all the must-have shots, but then we also have like room for flow and room for like the creative thing to kind of come to life and to leave that too. So we have like the space to feel like, okay, we have these shots, let's just play around. And then again, that's like when the magic
I think
is created, I believe.
Pre-production and having those shot lists allows
the
creativity to flow more naturally, more openly, and more abundantly.
We hope you're enjoying this episode. If your content is feeling stale, it's time to breathe some life and energy back into your visuals. Our content days are the perfect way to do just that. Work with our amazing team to capture hundreds of photos and professional video content in just one day. Whether you are launching something new or just need some new photos for your products or brand, we do it all. Head over to our Instagram and send us a DM to reserve your spot.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. So if somebody was not in the space yet where they were to hire us, which if you're not, you should get there because we are the best. But if you were not there, right? Like let's say somebody's like, okay, I just need a branding photo shoot or I just need a video for something. And they didn't have a creative director. Like what were some things maybe they could do you think, that would help kind of, bring this same flow without having the full team?
So if they were just to have like just
somebody was just coming to you
shoot
and just doing branding and didn't have the full picture, like what are some things they could do that would give that same pre-preparation feeling, you think?
I mean, I've always gotten a lot of inspiration from like magazines. And then I guess depending on your field or whatever your brand is, I always think a branding photo shoot should be, even if you're at a great place in your business, should be like an up level, like where you want to be the next phase of your business or the glow up, I guess. So I would just say, look at someone in your industry or in your business that you aspire to be like or draw inspiration from.
Oh, I love that.
So not to copy it, but like kind of where do you want to be next, and then embody that.
Well, that's a really good
almost
point.
Like a manifestation of your brand, like what you want to be next. And I have a couple clients in like real estate agents or, somebody in like more of a business world. Mm-hmm. If you want like whatever you're going after, if you want that Gucci bag or you want that car, go rent that car, go borrow your friend's bag if you're not there yet. Just because I think when you're in that space and you see yourself that way, number one, manifest.
Yes,
who you want to be, but also like just getting in that space and feeling it. And I guess that would be my advice.
I love
just
that.
Do the thing, like just go and do it visually and then manifest that into your career and your brand.
Yeah, that's great. Cause that's what we do with people. It's like, we're always like, my gifts are the forecasting out the future of their brand. Right. And then we capture it. So, but you can do that for yourself a little bit too, right? Like not just what do I need now in this moment, but like, what is that little bit further out version of me? What is that little bit further out version of my brand? And then like, I love that, Melissa. What about you, Kyle?
I think for clients and for, entrepreneurs to know themselves and to know what they want. So many times you get there and they don't know what they want. They don't really have an idea. They want you to create everything for them. And while there's people that can do that, and while I could even do that, that's not my specialty. And that's not authentic to them and to their brand. So I feel like if you have a good understanding of this is who I am and this is what I do, then that could make going into branding so much easier and could allow things to flow so much more naturally. Like I tell our clients that I don't create movies. I help you tell your stories. So I want you to know who you are, to know kind of what your story is, and we can help dive in deeper and unpack that more. But you got to have that like initial foundation, I guess, or else it's kind of all over the place from the jump.
Yeah. So it's kind of like them stepping into their own creator director role a little bit, right? Like what am I wanting to get out of this? That's such a good point, because I've made that mistake before in the past, like way before any of this came about, like hiring, or even just you, like first couple of times we did video together. It was like, I don't know what I want. What do I do?
Yeah.
You're here, but I don't know. What are we doing? And neither one of us knew what we were doing because there was nobody taking that lead of the vision, right? Let's actually tell that story. I meant to tell that off the beginning. Like, how did we meet, Kyle? You want to tell the story of how we met?
Oh, my goodness. We met through a mutual friend, JD.
Yes.
Who's an awesome lady. And I'd done some video work for JD. Haylee needed some video work and it said like, hey, who's doing your videos right now? So send us, and then I get a message that says, hey, I'm speaking at a women's conference. Can you come video that? And I'm like, well, I'll video anything. Especially at that point in my career, I was videoing anything that people would hire me to do. Because I just went out on my own full time. And then, I show up to the Women's Empowerment Conference, the WE conference.
That is it.
And I think I was the only guy there. I think Scott came for a little bit, but I was the only male there on the grounds, and I left feeling like Lizzo.
Yes.
Honestly, I was empowered as the woman that I am and my feminine energy. And I remember I was at a gas pump, right? I was pumping gas right afterwards, and I was singing the Lizzo song that had just came. I whipped my hair back.
I do my hair toss.
That song had just came out, and I was singing it at the gas pump after
That's so funny.
but yeah, that's how we met. And then it went on from there until you said, hey, I think I'm doing this branding thing now.
Yes.
Can you come help me tell this client's story? And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
I love that. And how did we meet, Melissa?
Oh, so Haylee hired me to do a branding photo shoot when her youngest Knox was born. What, like 4.5?
Yeah, he was little,
yeah,
like
4.5 years
weeks
ago.
old.
Yeah. And so we met at a coffee shop, and she had the baby and the laptop and
My mom was in the car,
whole, yeah.
like while we were doing the shoot.
Actually,
holding
the
Knox.
laptop and Knox
Yes.
and your mom were in the car. We went and got the baby and brought him in for a couple of shots and just started doing branding photo shoots together. And
Just hit it off.
yeah.
And we were
Definitely.
supposed to meet for the first time at the women's conference, but you weren't
Yeah.
able to come, and she
Yes.
had to hire another photographer.
Yep.
But that was also the same day that you met Chloe, who is our
Yes.
makeup
Right.
artist.
The same day that we
That
did our
same
first
day.
thing together, you had Chloe come do hair and makeup. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think there's always that divine like timing, right? Whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe. It's just like that bigger vision, bigger picture outside of you, right? Like you can try people all the time, like, oh, how do I hire people? And I'm like, yeah, you can try and you can be like, you can have all these tactics, but there's also just people come in your life at the right time and you just kind of know.
Well, we get asked that a lot on Emergence, like when people are observing us or our clients, like, how did you, like, Haylee, how do you have this team? And we're like, wow,
I don't know.
it just has,
I got really lucky. Yeah. But I think people like, I try to like create an environment where you guys feel like this is your vision too. Like I'm really consciously, I hope you all feel that, you know, it's like,
Absolutely.
this isn't like, oh, well, this is my show and you guys are here. You know what I mean?
No.
It's like, it is because we need all of it. Like it's not just the vision. It's the vision and the talent and then your vision and your vision. And like, it's all of it together.
And I think that like trickles through, like that's how you lead us. And then we all have that respect and space for each other. And it's amazing. And I feel like we all are able to be our best, very supported.
And I know for me and probably for you, I worked very hard to be able to not work for someone else ever again.
Same.
Right? Like I worked
same.
very hard to say like, okay, I'm never, I'm doing it for me now, even though I knew and there was a limit because I always knew that I created my best work on teams. And I'd always said that my best work was done in team atmospheres, but I just didn't want to work for someone else. I didn't want that. I wanted to just shoot whatever I wanted to shoot. And if I didn't want to shoot it, I didn't want to shoot it. Like, and you know, wanted to whatever. I didn't care about anything. So with Haylee, it was very like, okay, wow. You know, if I'm willing to work for you, then if I'm willing to be on this team, like it's definitely, I feel empowered. I feel that I have a voice. I feel that my creativity is being used to its fullest potential. Like all of that, you know, it's not, I don't feel like I'm working for someone.
Yeah.
Like I'm
same.
still just creating the content that I want to create. And I just get to do it with some freaking dope people.
Yeah.
You know? So
I feel
That makes me happy.
the same.
Yeah, that's because that's what I want you guys to feel. And it's funny because on the other end of it, I never thought I would have like a team. Like I was trying to do my own thing on my own for the longest time. Like, oh, I'm just going to do
It's so
this. And I'm
funny.
and I never would have thought of myself as like a quote unquote good leader
you're
or
an
like
incredible leader.
I just never. That part of me was like, there's no way because I always thought it involved micromanaging people and like controlling them. You know, like because that's what you think of or you've experienced sometimes. But to do it in this way, you guys have also made it very easy for me just to be like, okay, it's not just my way, right? And that's actually a good thing.
I think it's almost the opposite of what you like micromanaging.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you let people, you give them a comfortable space where they feel appreciated and they have their creative space and they're supported, then it automatically works.
Yes.
You don't have to do all those things.
When I did, there's a whole other episode we could do at some point, but there was, you know, I had to work through that with Lo, who's still on the team. You know, she was one of my first team members and was on the business with me. And there was something that happened where she went, ended up kind of wanting to try another route. And then she came back, which was amazing. But it was in that experience where I think I finally let go of that last bit of like control too. Whereas like, I need her. A lot of people get like, I need you all. I need you all. And I don't feel that. It's like, I feel like the less you control people and like try to squeeze them tightly, the more they want to stay. If it's the right thing for you all, then you stay here forever. But if for some reason it's not the right thing, like I'm not going to make you stay either.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's important.
And you've never tried to hinder our own individual inhibitions either. So there's never been like, oh, you can't go do, or I don't want. It's always been supportive, whether it's me with, 48-hour film festivals or a documentary work that I'm working on or any of that. It's okay. Well, let's figure out how we can work around that to where you can still chase your individual dreams as well as build up our team dream, which is this.
Because the stronger you are separately, the stronger you are together.
Yeah.
Together.
Right.
Separately? Yeah. Did I say that right? Something like that. Well, let's pull a card real quick.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say also like touching on like when Justin complimented us. That is truly the best compliment anyone can give us. It's, it's great when someone goes, oh my God, Kyle, this is like a badass shot, or Melissa, this is great. But when someone says to you, your team, the way you all work together is the biggest compliment. Yep. And we've gotten that a lot lately. I mean, we've always gotten, but I feel like that is the big compliment that we get now. Like that is the one thing that people will say to us, which I'm really proud of.
I do think the magic is the team. And I think that's like anybody listening to this, if you have your own team or you want to have your own team, like it is what you should be pouring most of your time into. Not the clients, actually, because like the clients, don't get me wrong, we serve them to our fullest capacity, but like the strength of your team is everything. And I think that's whether you have a team of one or yourself, pouring into that, I think is huge.
And pouring into it the way that they need it, the way that you feel that, there's no textbook way. There's no right way or wrong way. Who likes meetings? Who likes Monday morning meetings? What we do, because our Monday morning meetings are like one of my favorite moments of the week because they're fun and we're just getting to know each. So
it's not even about business. Like we don't even talk about business.
So who would like a Monday morning meeting? We do. Like that's crazy.
Who ends their Monday morning meetings before we like go off the screen? Love you, have a great week, love you. Like we're all
we're
say
taking
love you.
screenshots and posting it.
Like everyone says I love you, and the thing is that we all mean it.
Oh
which is cool.
Question.
Okay, ready?
Table talk.
Oh, where do you feel most at home? Where do you feel most at home?
Oh, goodness. Where do I feel most at home?
I can answer first if you want.
Yeah, you answer first.
Because I've pulled this card before, so I've had a little time to think about it. So this is, I'm just going to say this, and it sounds, I have like the mom guilt by saying this, because like I feel most at home with my kids and with my family, like that's the obvious. But I don't know if I'm really being honest, like soul home, like in my soul, it's with you all, like doing these immersions. Like I feel like I'm going to cry thinking about that. But like, to me, that is home. Like I feel like there's respect, there's love, there's creativity, there's depth. There's like, we laugh. You guys know me like as much or more than my family. Like, I am truly like myself. And like I know that sounds cliche, but like on those experiences, I think I feel most at home.
I love that.
If you take home out of it, I feel most at home at home. I love my home.
Yeah.
I'm a homebody.
Let's take it out of the box.
Yeah, I'm a homebody. So, but if you take, then there's nowhere else. We'll get into this another episode, but I struggle with anxiety, extreme social anxiety now that I'm getting older, and there's nowhere else, no other group of people that I feel like I can actually be who I am, let into. Y'all know things about me that I don't let out, that I deal with, and I'm able to like, so I guess with you guys would definitely be outside of, and I love immersions. So when we go, it feels like, it doesn't feel like, especially now that we all stay together, it feels different than going on an immersion when we were staying in hotels and it was all this traveling and like, it felt like more tedious, where now it's like, oh man, it's like I'm going on a retreat.
We like set up home wherever we were traveling
we
to.
set up home for sure.
Right.
I think that's it. We have our chocolate croissants when we wake up in the morning. Like we do our rituals as a family type,
Definitely
so
a family.
True.
Yeah.
That is so true. Those little rituals are kind of like the way you're, like in an actual family, right? At home, you do have those rituals that you fall into, and it's like we've created them.
Like kind of created our own traditions together. Yeah.
Charcuterie boards and chocolate croissants.
I know, right?
Is yours laying on a beach?
Actually,
In Cali?
I mean, come on. We all know that. I do feel home in California, but so I clearly like my Sunday dinners with my husband, my new husband, I might add, and our children. That's where I feel at home. Like this just feels right. But outside of, the traditional home thing would be with you guys for sure. And I was touching on that yesterday whenever we were setting up for a podcast photos, just listening to everyone talk in between takes, that we truly have found our tribe.
Yeah.
And to not give up, like, if someone hasn't had that in their life yet, just to don't give up, because one day, I'm older than you guys, but it's like one day I just woke up and I'm like, this is kind of what I worked. This is what I worked for.
You can cry.
Not right now.
They're watering. I see y'all's water glistening under these lights.
I was like, I am not crying on the first episode.
It is not an episode of
I know, right?
And we're not being cheesy and just saying that because of this podcast either. And I think like these group immersions, I messaged Lo earlier and told her I missed her. Like I missed her being here. And last immersion, like we really missed Hannah, like not being there. And I think having Jade come onto the team and like she's opened up about a lot of that. Like this is my people. I found my people, and for them to I don't know, they've brought that rawness and that emotional to like, these are my people. I never thought I would find a group like this. And that's allowed us, I think, to open up about that too and be like, yeah, that's right. Like, I think when they said that at the dinner, our family dinner, the first immersion, it was like, wow, these are my people. These are my family.
I could go on and on.
Okay,
all day.
family dinner.
For
Melissa, maybe almost Peter Pan's.
or did.
Well, that was the best family dinner. Okay. I mean, I think a couple of the people on the team are like, this was literally like family dinner.
Yeah. It was.
We will stop right there. And we'll stop there. Well, okay. So to wrap this up, I mean, I think you can kind of feel we genuinely love each other and have created such a closeness. And I do think it comes across just like personally, but for our clients as well in that creative process. And I think if we were to sum it up, it's like you said it. If you haven't found this yourself, like keep looking, like you will. Your people are out there, whether it's in business, whether it's your team, whether it's friends, whether it's in your community. Social media opens up a whole world for you, right? And like we wouldn't have met each other really,
right?
If it weren't for that. So find your people, and your people are out there.
Yeah. Money.
Done.
If you enjoyed this episode, let's move this relationship to the next level. The friend zone, baby. Head to the show notes and click the link to join our close friends list, where you will gain access to knowing where we are, all our adventures, and exclusive pop-up offers at locations around the world. Plus, we hold nothing back on our close friend stories on IG. See you there.